I feel like at some point he's gonna call me a clown. That's his like go-to.
I'll be like, that's me.
It's different levels. You know what I mean? It's definitely different levels when you come.
Jake Paul has built his entire boxing persona on confidence and controversy. But the latest clips of Gervonta Tank Davis's new, bulked-up physique may have rattled even him. As footage of a noticeably stronger and more muscular Davis spread across social media, fans began speculating that Paul might have underestimated the lightweight champion's transformation. Known for his explosive power, precision, and knockout instincts, Davis now looks like a natural welterweight. His new frame sends a powerful message. He's not stepping into the ring for spectacle, he's coming to dominate. Sources close to Paul have hinted that the YouTuber-turned-boxer feels the pressure, realizing that this version of Tank could be far more dangerous than anyone imagined.
Work system.
Countdown to their November 14th clash intensifies. Fans and analysts alike are stunned by Davis's dramatic physical transformation. Once known for his compact frame and lightning speed, the 5'5" lightweight has added serious muscle mass, appearing stronger, faster, and more menacing than ever. The difference was on full display during their heated Miami face-off, where Davis shoved Paul, a moment that instantly went viral. With Davis now resembling a compact powerhouse, questions are mounting about whether Jake Paul's confidence is starting to crack under the weight of this new challenge. Training footage shows Davis with broader shoulders, thicker arms, and a rock-solid core, yet still maintaining his trademark agility and explosiveness. This isn't a fighter bulking up for show. It's a fighter transforming to dominate. In a recent interview, the reigning UFC bantamweight champion didn't hold back, bluntly declaring that Gervonta Davis is levels above Jake Paul in skill, intelligence, and ring awareness. He acknowledged Paul's physical size advantage, but dismissed it as irrelevant against someone like Tank, an undefeated fighter with devastating knockout power. The champion also criticized the commission's decision to classify the bout as an exhibition, calling it a move that waters down the fight's competitive spirit. His remarks reflect a growing sentiment that Davis's talent transcends weight classes and that Paul may be stepping into a test he's not fully prepared for.
Right? Who's not a professional fighter. What happens? What happened? That's what would sell it. I know what the size difference is what creates the problem. The optics, the look, the reality. I mean, you got one guy who's fights at 135 pounds, and you got another guy who fights at 200. I mean, just that alone, yeah. But you also, and I'm not saying I want this or I like this when I heard it. No, I didn't like it, to be honest, for the optics and everything else I just said. But you do have one guy who, yeah, he's smaller. But he's a top fighter. He can punch. And he's fighting a guy who's not a top pro fighter, who's bigger. What if he hits him on the chin?
Many observers still view this showdown as more of a crossover spectacle than a legitimate boxing contest. With entertainment value overshadowing sporting purity, the matchup has reignited debates about fairness, safety, and the integrity of boxing's traditional weight class system. Critics argue that such fights blur the lines between professional sport and spectacle, while supporters claim they bring new audiences and excitement to boxing. Either way, this event represents the collision between two worlds, the old-school fight game and the new era of viral fame.
What do you think of him and Tank?
I enjoy these fucking stupid spectacles. I enjoy it. I'm excited for it. The controversy, the press conference, the weigh-ins. Imagine those two stand next to each other. Yeah. Dude, Jake is a big motherfucker. Basically, like you two standing next to each other. Like if you guys stood up, it is like that. Steiny's a little bit taller than Gervonta.
But I'm a feisty bro. It's not about the size of the dog. It's about the size of the what?
Experts argue that most of Jake Paul's fights follow a familiar pattern, built more for attention than athletic balance. Instead of pursuing opponents within his natural weight class or those offering real stylistic tests, Paul continues to choose matchups that generate buzz rather than credibility. While this approach has made him a marketing genius and a box office attraction, purists believe it sacrifices the integrity of competition. To them, Jake's bouts are engineered entertainment, thrilling for fans, but lacking the essence of true boxing rivalry.
Tank is not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Tank cannot sell a fight in his own division. You have the Paul brothers and they come over to boxing. Their idea from day one is we don't have the skills or the experience. What we're gonna do is we'll take on the absolute best guys, but they're gonna spot us some pound. Tank has one job to do, that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skill, of which I am an abundance of and of which you have none of. Tank is telling anybody that will listen that there's a size problem. My skills and my experience in boxing, I do not have to wonder who's in the bar tonight. Any bar I go to, I rule the bar. No, it turns out that you don't. Just need some big guy to corner you, apparently. Boxing has never stood its ground. Boxing has never been able to explain why Floyd needed a half hour to get rid of a guy who's never boxed before. Hank Davis has already began this. When you choose a dum-dum, don't be surprised when he goes out and acts like a dum-dum.
The weight disparity between the two fighters tells the story. Jake Paul weighed in at 199.5 pounds in his last bout, competing comfortably as a cruiserweight. Gervonta Davis, by contrast, last fought at just 133.5 pounds, a staggering difference of over 60 pounds. The Georgia State Athletic Commission reportedly refused to sanction the fight over safety concerns, forcing organizers to relocate the event to Miami. Even with a 195-pound catchweight limit, the gap remains significant. Still, Davis's recent bulk-up suggests he's closing that distance strategically. The bout now stands as one of the most unconventional matchups in modern boxing, a true clash of size versus skill, spectacle versus science, and raw power versus refined precision.
Paul won the fight, but yeah, that was that. This time, Jake Paul is to take on Tank Davis. He was recently in the news for being arrested for a domestic violence incident involving one of his kids' mother. He was alleged to have slapped her about the place. The charges were later dropped, to be fair to him. But yeah, that was when he was last in the news. What is interesting is just a couple of months ago, Tank Davis was saying openly that he'd lost his passion for boxing and that he wanted time away from the sport. There was speculation that he might even retire, as he was experiencing extreme mental fatigue from boxing, depression, and there were mental health concerns over him. However, I guess the opportunity to earn a truck full of money, fighting a completely worthless exhibition fight against Jake Paul, was enough to make him change his mind about boxing. Funny that, isn't it? But you know what? I'm not even gonna waste your time or mine critiquing this utter nonsense. Suffice to say that this so-called fight we're talking about is an exhibition, and it pits Jake Paul, who is a cruiserweight, by the way, weighs in excess of 200 pounds, and Tank Davis, who is, he was the WBA lightweight champion, who weighs in at about 135 pounds when he fights. So that's a disparity of some 65 pounds. In old money, that's about 4.5 stone. There's also a significant difference in height. Jake Paul is roughly, 6'1", 2". Gervonta Davis is 5'5" at best.